Hello there the internet, Tough Monkey here again, hope that you're all well. Okay, another week, another set of daily races, and this time Daily Race A brought us karting. First time I've seen karting on Gran Turismo 7, and well, karting's kinda close to my heart, because you see viewer, before Tough Monkey was my gaming name, Tough Monkey was my karting team. Yes, for about 5 or 6 years I was based out of Buttermore Park, took part in Club 100 and the Le Mans 24 Hours, but as you can see from the liveries on my cars in Gran Turismo 7, I get my karting kits now from Street Kart, an iOS app game, which over the last 3 or 4 years I've gotten quite handy at, and it's hugely addictive, especially since it has a lot of real world circuits like Adria, Wackersdorf, PFI, Salbury, La Conca, Todd Road, Marienburg and here, Wilton Mill. So if I'm not playing Gran Turismo 7 or Dirt Rally, you can be pretty certain I'm playing Street Kart on either my iPhone or iPad. And if you reckon you can do better than me, just type Street Kart into your App Store browser and download the game, and I'll see you there. Anyway, back to Gran Turismo 7. This was my first outing in the kart, and let's just say it took a few laps to get used to it. It's actually not a bad handling car in the game, but it's extremely twitchy. If you're used to karts, you'll soon bed yourself into it, but you've just got to get used to it. If you've been playing some of the GT cars, then it's going to come as a bit of a shock when you put your foot on the brake for the first time, because karts do not have front brakes. It's basically like pulling the handbrake and into the wall you go. Yeah, that happened a few times, viewer, but after a few laps, well, 13, 14, 15 laps, we were starting to get the hang of things. Now, usually when I'm doing the daily race A's, I'm usually in the 1500 to 2000 sort of ranking in the world, which by my standards I'm usually quite happy with. Last week we had the World Rallycross cars, which I think I finished about 170th in the world that week, which perhaps says more about my talents as a rally driver than my talents as a tarmac specialist. But this week I really wanted to excel as best as I could. I was targeting top 200, that was my aim. And the car you see up in front as a ghost, well, that's a car with the closest possible time I could find to Super GT, one of my contemporaries, teammates and rivals back when I used to kart. And I was determined to beat him this week. I was really determined. I actually beat him last week in the World Rallycross, which I expected, but karting, different story. He was always better at it than me. Anyway, for this first race, we'd qualified third on the grid, which I was quite happy with, and, well, I didn't have any practice with starts, but I did alright actually, and then immediately went wide at the first corner and left the door wide open, so I was already battling into the first complex. This corner, this first hairpin bend, I struggled throughout the entire week on it to get the absolute optimum line through it. Everyone seemed to be going just that little bit quicker. Every other corner, I was okay with. So we've already slipped down to 4th place in the early stages, and I've got a guy coming up on the outside of me here, but I got a decent exit out to this corner, which is good because you've got a long drag down this long downhill section here. Skip it on another lap, and I'm making a move for third place here. The guy in the Lando Norris outfit there from McLaren just got it a little bit wrong, and I was able to nip up the left hand side of him and get my place on the podium. And having got myself into third place, I'm now looking at getting second. The guy in second is just over a second up the lane, and I'm still not getting that corner right. Just early part of the week, I just wasn't getting that right. But if we spin it on a couple of laps, up to lap 7, we're only a couple of tenths behind him. We're 3 tenths behind him, and this had been a similar sort of gap for the last couple of laps, and I'd gain on him up through this section up to the start-finish line, but he was always quicker than me through the first corner coming up here, but then I'd close in on him. I don't know if the pressure had started to tell, but as we approach the hairpin bend at the start of the 8th lap, he's going to disappear off stage left. I'm not going to laugh because obviously I did that plenty of times myself, especially on the first lap in the kart. Now I hoped at this point I had 3 or 4 laps to try and close in on the leader, but as you can see he's actually gained a couple of seconds on me over the space of the next 4 laps. So we're going to end the first race in 2nd place, which, to be honest, totally happy with. First race of the week, 2nd place, can't complain about that. So there you go, 2nd place. We've gone up from 3rd on the grid, I'm happy with that. But I'm going to go back and do some practicing because as you can see, Super GT, he's got about 0.8 of a second on me, which is just absolutely unacceptable. Now I did 60 laps here, and on lap 40 I finally managed to string a relatively decent lap together. On lap 34, that was the first time I went under 48 seconds. This lap, this is going to be my best lap through the middle of the week. As you can see, the pink kart, that's still the kart that's, I think it was 0.001 seconds ahead of Super GT's time. So I'm trying to beat it. At the moment, I'm just not quite there. I'm losing time through that first hairpin bend, that right-hander after the left-right section at the start of the lap. Every other section, I'm fine, but that hairpin, I just couldn't get it quite right. But through this final corner, which is quite a technically difficult section, I seem to be carrying quite a bit of speed. And I can see from my delta, I'm up on my time, and there we go, we're just going to nip in with a 47.748. That was my best time, and look at that, I'm still 2/10 away from Super GT. I can't tell you, viewer, how much that sort of niggles in my side that does, but it was good enough for second on the grid for my my second event of the week. And well, I look at the times there, and some fast guys there. The guy on pole, Bob, he's got a 47.4, so he's going to be quick. And well, I thought he was going to be quick, but he was perhaps a little bit too quick, because you can see just there, he got a bit of a false start, and the ensuing chaos and mayhem allowed me to get into the first corner scot-free. And you want to be breaking the 1 second gap. Anything underneath 1 second to the guy behind, and they're in danger of getting the toe on you, getting a bit of a slipstream. So I'm looking at getting the gap to over a second. I managed to get the gap up to about half a second as I was coming through here. I had a poor first hairpin bend, as I always do, but I'm about half a second up at this point. And once I get to that 1 second, then you can start to settle down, because at the moment you're thinking about the car behind. You think, well, he's going to be in the draft, he's going to be taking a lunge up the inside. You're not thinking entirely about your own racing line, you're thinking about what someone else is doing. But once you get to that second, then you can forget about everyone else. All you need to do is concentrate on your own race, and you're golden. So we've completed the first lap, we're in the lead, we've got a train of cars behind us, but we're going alright. Now at this stage, they have still managed to keep within half a second of me, so I'm still looking over my shoulder at the moment. I was expecting a bit of a lunge, and as you can see, there was a bit of a lunge from someone, but it was far too back to really trouble me at that point. So because of that, it's now put that 1 second gap. Because he's managed to cause a bit of mayhem into that corner, I've managed to get away. So I've got my head down now, heading off down the hill, and we're over a second in the lead, which is brilliant, because once we're over that 1 second, we can forget about what everyone else is doing. No one can lunge from over a second back and take you out of the race into a sharp corner, so we're good. So from this point, I'm now concentrating on nothing but consistency. We're going to get a 48 second lap here, 48.5, and that's all I want to do now, keep in the 48s. Lap 3, it's a 48. Lap 4, it's a 48. We're just getting 48 5s, 48 6s, 48 4s here. That's one of my best laps. That's all you want to do, viewer. If you want to be quick over a consistent period of time, you've got to be doing laps that are within a couple of tenths of each other. There's no point doing a super fast lap and then binning it the next lap. Just keep doing consistent laps. And if you do karting, then that's really what you really do. You just want to be consistent laps all the time. So all through this race, with the exception of the first lap and this very final lap, I'm in the 48 seconds, and that's what I want to be doing. I've seen that there's a yellow flag in front of me. It's this kart you can see just disappearing over the hill. He was spinning around at the hairpin bend, and it just got me a little bit nervous. As you can see, I'm already half a second down on my delta. That's for no reason other than I'm just watching out for what he's doing, and I braced there. I was expecting this ghost to come back to being solid and wipe me straight out, but fortunately that didn't happen. So although I'm going a bit slow on this lap, we've got nearly a 5 second lead on the guys in second and third place. So all I'm doing now is just making sure we get cleanly through this final corner, up the hill. The gap is now 4.4 seconds. We're golden. We've got this one in the bag. 12 laps done. Consistency, I'm happy with that. So we've got started from second place. We've finished in first. We've got a clean race. Couldn't ask for much more. So I'm happy. I've already achieved my objectives for the week. Or have I? Because, you see, it's still niggling, it's still burning. Super GT is still ahead of me by 2/10, and you know, viewer, I just can't live with that. And we've also dropped down to 324th in the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up the Ghost that's just slightly quicker than Super GT, so I know that if I can beat that Ghost, I've beaten Super GT. So here we go. I'm going to start a whole fresh batch of laps here to see how quickly we can do it. And well, I'll let you into a little secret, viewer. We did it straight away. All through the week I'd been putting in 30, 40, 50, 60 laps in each stint, and I don't know how, but we do it first attempt. We get a great entry into the first corner, we don't pick up any penalties, we get a good run across this curb here, and finally, I get this hairpin bend spot on. This is the point I'd normally get overtaken by that purpley pink kart, but as you can see from the arrows on the radar, the kart that's right behind me, that's the kart that will beat Super GT's time, and the second yellow arrow, that's my best time. And just got a bit of a twitch over the curb there, and I thought that was going to be it, but no, we're still ahead of that yellow arrow in the radar. We're still ahead of it, and I can feel my hands starting to sweat as I'm entering into this final corner. Can we keep hold of it? Oh, we've actually got a good line through here. We're just going to get back on the track at the right time. There's no grass involved there, and we've got a good run up to the line, and there we go. We've got a 47.381, and we've beaten Super GT. And not only that, when we go to the global rankings, I was aiming for a top 200, and, well, viewer, we're into 63rd position. Smug mode is firmly engaged. I'm really quite happy with that. I can end this video happy for a change. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like, comment and subscribe. It really does help me, and I appreciate the love. So, until next time, take care.